Please welcome Ray Parker.
I'm performing at Red Rocks. This is pretty sweet. All right, what am I supposed to tell you?
He's a 9-time Tony Award-winning musical.
Sue us right now.
It's a night of magic.
Kindergartners were all crying and freaking out.
They've got the morals of dogs.
I just grew up loving musicals, but for me, musicals just meant what I could see on VHS.
So I would watch all that I could, and go to, which is hard to do in the mountains of Colorado to see anything live. So it was always on VHS usually, or done by our little community playhouse, which is the way I saw a lot of musicals.
Started playing piano when I was like 9, and I just fell in love with it.
But from a pretty early age, I got into the idea of writing funny songs, and then the movie Spinal Tap came out, and I think that, I remember I was in junior high, and I remember that really launched a whole nother thing for me, which was like, I listened to those songs over and over.
I got a 4-track recorder, back then was a record studio. And then by the time I think it was when I was 16, we made an album's worth of songs and sold them.
And you passed these out in high school and sold them, or?
Yeah, we recorded on a 4-track recorder, and we sold them for $5, and we made like $500, so I quit my job at Pizza Hut. I told the manager of Pizza Hut because he wanted an exit interview, and he's like, "Why are you leaving Pizza Hut?" Well, I think I did this thing, and I made $500, and he's listening to me, and he's like, "Sounds to me like you think you're too good for Pizza Hut."
That was my passion with music, and that's really what I thought I wanted to do.
Is this a national television debut of this song?
Well, no, don't play it.
Between being a piano player and a songwriter and the comedy aspect of it, I was like, there's something here, and that's when I ended up going to Berkeley.
But, as a lot, I was just kind of sitting there going, man, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. It was just then that the film school at CU was kind of just starting to offer a degree in film production.
And that's where I met Matt.
Yeah, we really bonded over Monty Python. That was like the first thing that...
I wish to complain about this parrot what I purchased not half an hour ago.
Region Blue, what's wrong with it?
I'll tell you what's wrong with it. It's dead, that's what's wrong with it.
In our film class, it was all people who wanted to be Kurosawa and Martin Scorsese.
Remember what the attraction was?
I just remember that our senses of humor were just so similar that we would just really crack each other up.
And we quickly realized that everyone else in the class kind of wanted to make like black and white sexual exploration pieces. And so we're like, want to do some fart jokes?
Dude.
I met him and found someone who could make me laugh, even when I felt like crying.
What were you like back then? Really cool. It was just amazingly cool.
I don't want to sound like a queer or nothing, but I'd kind of like to make love to you tonight.
Any reason you feel qualified for this job?
Well, I'm white, and I'm a male.
Oh, yeah. Don't you just talk yourself into a job?
I was in an animation class. That was the first time I worked with construction paper. But so it was like, it's Christmas time. Let's do a little thing.
That's Jesus and Santa beating the crap out of each other over Christmas.
Like this little short that was one of the first things to kind of hit the internet and get passed around and passed around.
George Clooney got a hold of it, and it became like his favorite little thing.
He made about 700 copies and sent them out to all his friends, and then they made 700 copies and sent them all their friends.
I got the video cassette. Everybody got copies of it. Wow. And I was like, this is insane.
I thought it was hysterical, so I called and said, get them in here right away.
We had like a bidding war in our hands and like multi-picture deals from studios, and it was insane.
Well, all of a sudden, people wanted to meet us more. And we got meetings everywhere all of a sudden. And people were like, okay, what do you want to do?
Trey and Matt signed a contract to produce 6 episodes of a cartoon show based on the spirit of Christmas called South Park, based on a real place in a stretch of Colorado.
Who's from South Park originally?
I'm from like real near South Park's a county.
Reflect life in that part of the country?
Yeah. People are weird there.
Really? Yeah.
We got an order for 6, and we're like, let's just make 6, really messed up episodes.
What was the operative idea, though? Was it there's no cartoon out there that's edgy enough, that really is satirical enough?
I think, a lot of people, when they start out, we weren't thinking about it too much. We were just thinking, how can we go to Hollywood and make a lot of money?
We don't say, okay, what can we do that's going to piss everyone off? We entered every show with, what happened to us in 3rd grade? We had a dog that ran away. Okay, let's make him gay. And it wasn't,
These are little foul-mouthed weasel kids.
No, they're like real kids. This is the way kids really talk.
Creators wanted the show to be a real depiction of how kids really act, as so much of the entertainment world portrayed kids as angels at the time, with them saying they remember being selfish little Cartmans in 3rd grade.
The early response, always positive.
They've got the morals of dogs. To be using third graders and to put their filthy, rotten, disgusting behavior and sense of humor into the package of third grade animated characters is unconscionable.
Did you hear that? Yeah, accused South Park. That's one more reason not to watch.
They put out a big pamphlet on how to stop South Park, basically, and how to write the sponsors and get it taken off the air. And it's actually a brilliant piece of literature. Because
there's always controversy. And did it happen early on, or is this something that's just come to you with the
Yeah,
series?
I was in 6th grade, and there was a talent show, and I sort of wrote my first sketch, which was called The Dentist. And I played the dentist, and I had my friend play a patient. And it was sort of what can go wrong at the dentist. And I just remember I had lots of fake blood and everything, and like finally his head explodes. It was basically like, and my parents got a call from the school. They were really upset. Kindergartners were all crying and freaking out. And so I remember I had to go to the kindergarten class and explain, I'm just playing a character. I'm not really a dentist.
Well, congratulations on all the success with this program.
Thank you.
Started doing this, did you have any idea it would be this big?
The show's first 6 episodes spread like wildfire, being a huge ratings hit for Comedy Central, getting viewers in the millions. All the major news publications wants to feature South Park on their magazines, including Rolling Stone and Newsweek.
What is it that you think has made a connection with people?
We were lucky enough with South Park to hit a level of success early on where we have total control over the show. For better or worse, Trey and I have always been like, this is our show, and everything on the show is basically what we want to say.
We haven't handed any part of it off. Stay definitely true to ourselves in South Park, and I think that's because Matt and I have each other.
And the merchandise had grossed over $300 million in the show's first few seasons. So what could possibly come next to keep up the show's hype?
As we near the millennium, the tools for visual effects and animation are evolving at an exponential rate. The most advanced animation ever seen by the human eye.
I will do the German dance for you. It's fun and gay and tra-la-la.
Now you have a movie coming up?
It's like, okay, let's make an R-rated cartoon about an R-rated cartoon. First big fight we had to fight to Paramount was, of course, they wanted us to make this a PG-13 movie. And then they literally brought us in one time and said, guys, we just want to tell you the difference in money that you'll make between an R-rated and a PG-rated movie. A PG-13 can get into these markets and this and do that later on cable. And then the other guy at Paramount would go, hold on a second. Are you actually trying to tell me that because it can do this on cable, it'll make more money there? And he's like, that's right, Jim.
Paramount ordered Matt and Trey to take a class on story structure to set them up for the best possible chance of success with the film.
Found out this really simple rule that maybe you guys have all heard before. You come up with an idea and it's like, okay, this happens, right? And then this happens. No, it should be this happens, and therefore this happens. But this happens, therefore this happens.
The South Park movie was the reason the pair learned to become good writers. They never really knew how to write well-told stories before and were kind of faking it, and they even admitted this. Trey later on confessed he hates the first 3 seasons of South Park, and these episodes were broadcast before the movie even released. It wasn't until taking these classes that the creators became a lot more comfortable with writing stories, and South Park started to find its true identity.
You guys also are having a very well-publicized battle with the ratings.
People don't realize they cut everything. They made us change our title. They make you, change the commercial, and even clips that we bring. MPA approves clips and wouldn't let us show the clip we wanted to show tonight.
You did bring a clip, though.
Yeah.
This little deceived us. You are a bad man. Don't listen to them, Conan. You loved our movie, Conan. We watched it together. Remember? You laughed.
What have I done?
Another big fight was getting it to be a musical. Partway through the movie, came on this idea of making fun of the big Disney musicals. This is before the Chicagos. This was when musicals were just like the kiss of death. So if you go back and, look at all the marketing and we didn't tell anybody it was a musical.
Trey's love of music started in the foothills of Colorado. There wasn't much in terms of theater where Trey grew up, but there was a small play area called Evergreen Players, a little 40-seat theater where local townsfolk would perform.
It was my exposure to all the great musicals, were seeing it that way. And that's why I fell in love with them so much. It wasn't until I was about 20 that I actually came to New York and saw a real musical. And music is such a great way to do comedy, and music is such a great device to get across a lot of emotion and humor.
I just sort of knew the formula, it's like you need a big song here, and it wasn't every how many minutes, should go by before a song, but it's sort of like, here's emotionally where they're going to be. There should, you know, it was obvious they should do a song where they all sing about what they want, because that's something you need in the movie. And the song should move the story forward, and you should need that song to hear either, you know, it should be a moment in the movie that's important.
While in production, Paramount released a heavily edited trailer for the South Park movie, highlighting its comedy as though it were a crappy Adam Sandler movie, which really got under Matt and Trey's skin.
They call them $10 million crappy summer movies. That's like the official term. But we thought our movie was much cooler than that, and we didn't want it to be like, get ready, here it comes for the wackalicious, wacky, woke, fun of summer.
So we're just like, no, you're not showing this trailer. And they're like, well, no, we have to. It's going today. We're like, no, you're not. And then Matt hid it in the trunk of his car.
And I drove home.
Matt stealing the copy of the trailer and driving off with it angered Paramount so much that the studio threatened the creators with a lawsuit if they did not hand it back immediately.
My lawyer calls at like literally 7:45 at my house. And he's like, do you have something that belongs? He's like, the 3 biggest lawyers from Paramount just called me and said they're going to sue us. And I was like, f them, let them sue us. Because that was our, me and Trey were like, sue us right now. Please, f you. Like, no, you don't understand. You have to give the tape back. You'll go to jail.
The South Park movie was commissioned halfway through the first season during the height of its popularity. Comedy Central and Paramount wanted to make the most out of the hype in case the show was just a phase, which was an unfortunate reality for Matt and Trey. For season 2, critics and fans already felt it had outstayed its welcome, and Matt and Trey basically agreed.
We thought when we were making the South Park movie that it was our swan song.
NBC Studios in New York, it's Late Night with Conan O'Brien.
Congratulations are in order. First, the movie doing phenomenally well.
It's the most subversive, crazy.
Standing ovation in the theater with Cartman saying Big Fat Bitch song.
The theater I saw, people were just crying.
Trey, your favorite part from the South Park movie?
It's still just about it being a musical and people talking about the music, and I think that it's, you know, that definitely is the most satisfying part.
Despite the negative criticism, Matt and Trey had the last laugh. Once the movie released, it exceeded all expectations. Kids were sneaking into theaters to watch it, and its success ran on a very positive word-of-mouth campaign from fans. Bigger, Longer, and Uncut was the most successful R-rated comedy in history at the time. And 20 years later, the South Park movie is still loved by fans and critics alike. Bigger, Longer, and Uncut ended up being the show's saving grace, making the series more popular than ever.
It's Hollywood's biggest night, and we're here to greet the celebrity arrival.
We got to take care of some old business and talk about the Oscars.
Yeah.
Congratulations, South Park. You're going to the Oscars. Comedy Central congratulates Trey Parker, Mark Shaman, and the rest of the gang from South Park on their Academy Award nomination for the original song, Blame Canada.
How did you do it? How on earth did you guys put those outfits together?
We talked about like big duck outfits, and we're like, well, if we have going with big duck costumes, then they have a reason to not let us in.
The Academy Awards should be like costumes like that. It'd be a lot more fun.
No, it's just fun. It's fun because I'm going to go, and I'm definitely going to do something to annoy everybody.
Well, first of all, let's show what you were wearing. You were dressed as Gwyneth Paltrow and Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah. And then we learned that at the time you were on acid.
Oh, shit. If you've taken acid, you know that one of the trippiest parts of when you're on any psychedelic is transitioning. When you go inside to outside or outside to inside. And there's like 60,000 fucking people and every camera in the Western Hemisphere there. And it was like...
Is that why you're in the dress? It's just such a magical evening, and everyone looks so spectacular, you know? Okay, talk about a fashion statement. Now, 2 of you are nominated for Best Song, Blame Canada. Matt's not. I'm not. No, we just wanted to be a part of it all. It's a night of magic. What? Come on.
And now for Best Original Song. From Tarzan, You'll Be in My Heart, music and lyric by Phil Collins. From South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, Blame Canada. The Oscar goes to Phil Collins for You'll Be in My Heart.
I always love in the award show how everyone acts really gracious. You know, when they lose, they smile and clap. And I just slammed the chair in front of me and screamed no.
And then, of course, there's the moment where we had just lost to Phil Collins, and you're sitting there coming down off the acid in a dress, surrounded by people in this theater, and you're like, dude, we got to get the out of here.
So let's get Trey on the line here. I think it'd be great if Trey and Matt did a musical, a sort of a comical musical about the Joseph Smith story. I think it'd be great.
It would. I mean, we wouldn't even have to write the comedy.
They are my comedy heroes. Their South Park movie, it blew my mind. I just thought it was not just the funniest musical ever, but one of the best musicals I'd ever seen.
We grew up in Colorado, which is right next to Utah, and so we grew up with a lot of Mormons. My first serious girlfriend in high school was a Mormon, so I would go to her house for family home evening and all that stuff. There was just always this fascination with that culture. We would go to the Mormon temple in Salt Lake City and do the tours just because, like, man, it's so fascinating because it's a religion where its prophet just lived like 100 years ago.
The way most people become aware about Mormonism is through missionaries and these elders who ring your doorbell dressed in a smart white shirt, trying to get you to convert to their religion.
Hello, my name is Elder Price, and I would like to share with you the most amazing book.
Matt and Trey wants to make a musical with Bobby about the missionaries and how they spend time at a training center getting paired up with someone they hardly know, with the church throwing them out into somewhere random in the world.
Your mission location is Uganda.
But the main thing that the Book of Mormon is about a kid coming of age and a kid who's grown up in this bubble of Salt Lake City thinking, okay, I know everything now. And he's done with high school and he's ready to go out in the world and change the world and make it a better place. And then getting a big dose of reality.
Matt credited Trey as being the one who grew up loving musicals and actually being a music major. Stone said he learned along the way while working alongside Parker on how a good musical should be written and directed.
I don't think it's ever going to be in my DNA like it is with Bobby and Trey. I get it now, I think, a lot more, and I really appreciate musicals a lot more, but I came to it the weirdest way. Like, I started doing them first and then started liking them, which is kind of odd. But
over the years now, Stone and Parker have worked on various musical projects, such as Cannibal the Musical, a film they made all the way back in high school, the South Park movie, and now their biggest challenge yet, a full-blown musical for Broadway, with a new co-creator, Bobby Lopez.
I believe that the Garden of Eden was in Jackson County, Missouri.
One of the hottest shows on Broadway,
Book of Mormon.
Runaway hit.
The creators of South Park.
You would be well advised to book your reservations
Great
now.
reviews. Are you surprised at the reviews? I mean, everybody is saying this. It's phenomenal. They say it's hilarious. Are you not surprised?
The 9-time Tony Award-winning musical.
And the Tony Award goes to The Book of Mormon.
Book of Mormon!
Accepting the award for The Book of Mormon, director Trey Parker.
Tonight would be a big disappointment if we didn't thank our co-writer who passed away, Mr. Joseph Smith, the founder of the Mormon religion. You did it, Joseph. You got the Tony.
You've been told how to do things all through high school and college. Even more people are going to tell you how things are done. But from what I've seen, it's those few who figure out a new way to do something that really succeed. Whatever you decide to do, don't just learn how to do it. Figure out on your own how to do it faster, cheaper, or better. Do that, and people will throw money at you so fast.
The truth is, no matter what thing it is, if it's a movie, if it's the Book of Mormon, if it's South Park, it all starts with some people in a room making each other laugh.
Thank you guys so much. Most of all, I want to thank my partner, Matt. I want to say happy anniversary, man. I love you.